Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about the delay. I was having technical problems.
Okay, that's fine.
Where are you from?
I am from, right now I live in America.
That doesn't sound like an American accent, though.
No, but I am from Pakistan.
Okay, so how long have you been in the United States for?
Almost from 5 years.
Okay, it's a long time. Do you find it very different?
Yeah.
Yeah, what part of America?
Okay. We are from California.
Oh, very nice. Nice weather. Well, welcome. That you're joining us. How do I pronounce your name, by the way?
Hafsa. Hafsa. Hafsa.
Hafsa. All right, Hafsa. Well, thank you for joining us. Hello, Alexander.
Hi.
Is the weather improving?
A little bit. It's around 0.
Oh, I beat you today.
Really?
Yeah.
What is the weather?
I have no idea, but it's sunny. And I think it's 6 degrees right now.
The ice is melting.
Well, it's getting warmer. I think tomorrow it's going to be 18 degrees.
Oh. So
yeah.
hot.
Yeah, it heats up quickly.
Yeah.
Now let's see who else just joined us. Adela. Hello, Adela.
Hello, Simon. How are you today? Sorry. Yes, fine, thanks.
Good, good. I'm doing well as well. Getting ready for a class here. We're going to talk about a recession. Or it's economics. It's more about economics than a recession. And we'll get started shortly. I just want to say hi to everybody so I can get a feel for everybody's level of English. All right, let's see. We got Adela and Vladimir. Hello, Vladimir.
Hello.
Judging by your name, you're not British, are you?
No, I'm Russian.
I thought you might be. What part of Russia?
Oh, I live nearby St. Petersburg.
Awesome, wonderful historic city.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get started shortly. I just want to say hi to everybody. Javier. Hello, Javier.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine, teacher, and you?
Good. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. Ah, it's much warmer there than where I am. It's cold here.
Yes,
so welcome,
here
Javier.
Yeah, thank you, teacher.
Uh-oh, we've got two Javiers. Okay, so I'm hoping that the other Javier is not from Colombia, so it's easier to identify you. The other Javier, where are you from?
Hello, Simon. I'm from Barcelona, Spain.
Okay, so we'll refer to you as Javier from Barcelona.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So good evening to you. I understand your clocks recently changed.
Yesterday, yeah. I think, no, yesterday or 2 days ago, probably, yeah.
Okay, well, obviously, unfortunately, it's a little later, but thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Jeremy. Hello, Jeremy. All right, I don't hear anything from Jeremy. Okay, guys, I'm going to post a link there. I want you to go to this website. It's a newspaper. We're going to read this story together. My name is Simon, by the way. I am your teacher. I'm from Canada, and the purpose of today's class is to practice our comprehension skills, also reading and pronunciation. We're going to take turns reading this article together. Does everybody have the article open?
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I have.
So let's start with Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Yeah, just open the link that I pasted in the chat. Okay, Vladimir, if you could start, please. If you could read the title and the first paragraph.
Okay. Fear a recession? The numbers says otherwise. There has been a lot of negative economic news recently, with some analytics forecasting a significant economic slowdown and even a recession in the near future, and hence rates to remain low for the foreseeable future.
Excellent. Thank you. Well said. All right, I'm going to share what I'm looking at here, because as you guys speak, if I hear a word that's not enunciated correctly, I'll bold it so we can practice after you've finished reading. All right, now unfortunately I've forgotten your name again because it's different from what's on the screen. I see Haram. What is your name again?
My name is Khorram, Hafsa Khorram.
Khorram. All right, Khorram. Could you please read the next paragraph?
For example, the IMF and the OECD have issued economic growth warning for Canada. Europe is headed toward a deflationary period and the significant slowdown, which will be exacerbated if Greece exits the EU and Eurozone. China's GDP has also been slowing down.
Okay, let me hear you say China.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Could you say it again, please?
China.
China. Good. This word can be said two ways, the and the.
So what is this? The or the?
The or the?
The.
So we've got basically two vowel sounds on the. For those of you that are more experienced, you'll notice that it sounds like an E or it sounds like an A. We have the and we have the. Okay, the other word, let me hear you say exacerbated.
How can I pronounce it?
Exacerbated.
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 Excellent. And this word here, deflationary, because this is a story about economics, does anybody know what deflation means?
Deflationary.
Anyone at all?
Opposite to inflationary.
Yeah, it's very bad actually. It's when the price for goods drops.
Drops, yeah.
And this is usually, why is it bad? Well, you're thinking, hey, this is good, right? For
yeah,
you?
I can buy more.
Yes. Well, if you're in Russia right now, because of the ruble has dropped, everything has gone up in price, right?
Yeah.
So it would be nice if everything came back to where it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have sustained deflation, that usually is an indication that the economy is doing so very badly. It's actually a worse situation than inflation. But when you guys are, it's what we call the energy ruble. Like Canada, your economy is based largely on oil. So when oil drops, the ruble drops. Okay, thank you very much. Javier from Colombia, could you read the next paragraph, please?
Yes. Bloomberg Business Week reports that the actual growth rate of China may be closer to 5% than 7.4% if one considers electricity output, traffic and freight trains, and growth of risk, and many doubt the early signs of economic growth in the U.S., given recent comments by the Fed's chairman.
Thank you. Van. Okay. Javier from Spain, could you read the the next piece, please. There's 3 little paragraphs, if you could read all 3.
Yeah, sure. Is the current economic scene similar to that January-March 2008? Could we be heading towards a recession or a significant economic slowdown with a further dampening effect on interest rates and a severe stock market correction? In my opinion, the answer is no and yes, respectively.
Sorry, I actually forgot I had you read that paragraph. Some advice, and this is not just to you, it's to everybody. Don't speak fast. Read slowly. You'll find that you'll be able to enunciate your words more clearly, so don't rush through this. Okay, let me hear you say the word heading.
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 Good. Slow down.
Slow down.
Good. Dampening.
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 All right, here's a tough one. Yes.
Sorry? Yes.
Yes. All right, let me take off screen share. Obviously, between English and Spanish, there are some sounds that are just very different, and we always tend to have differences between our G's and our J's and our Y's. So let's focus on this for a minute. I want you to look at my mouth, okay?
That's fine.
Like I'm getting ready to smile. Yes.
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 Yes. Okay.
Much better. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. That's how we do it in English. So it's like you're smiling.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next, hopefully your microphone's working now. Jeremy, could you read the next paragraph, please?
I don't have the text.
Oh,
Hello?
yeah. Sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Text. Okay. Let's first deal with the no. There is a well-known seasonal effect in the financial markets that, in my opinion, is not showing a recession in the near future. It relates to the maxim of sell in May and go away, namely that stock markets do better in the November to April period than May to October.
April.
April.
Opinion.
Opinion.
Excellent.
Okay.
Alexander, could you read the next highlighted section, please?
Yeah, there are dates. My research shows that stocks have experienced a positive return between November and April, and April in 43 out of the 53 years of my sample. 1957 from 1957 to 2010, and a negative returns in only 10 years. Out of the 10 negative returns years, 8 years, 1960, 1970, 1973, 1974, 1982, 1990, and 2000. I'm sorry, 2000 and 2008 were recession years.
Excellent. Now, if I was reading this just because I'm lazy, I might read it this way. You read it correctly, though. Out of the 10 negative return years, 8 years, 1960, 70, 73, 74, 82, 90, 2000, and 2008. Okay, so sometimes when you know you're dealing with the century, you might shorten it a bit, but you said it well, or you read it well.
Okay. I'm sorry. What is does it? Did I pronounce wrong? Have?
Oh yes, sorry. Have.
Have.
I wasn't sure. There was a couple of words I didn't quite hear properly because of the there was a bit of a break in audio.
Okay.
All right. Adela, the next two paragraphs, please.
Yes. To understand why you need to understand your child.
Sorry.
Sorry. Portfolio.
Take a look at my screen there because you're reading half of the last paragraph.
Sorry. I take. Okay. That is the November to April period has been dominated by positive stock returns, except during recessions when returns turn negative. To understand why, you need to understand the drivers of this phenomenon, which relate to the behavior of institutional investors.
Thank you. Returns.
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 Much better. Okay, so let's see. Now this word here, recessions.
Recessions.
In English, see, you say this in Spanish very differently. It's almost like we're saying shun, recession.
Recession.
Perfect. Drivers.
Drivers.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to go back to screen share. All right, Vladimir, you have a big paragraph. Go ahead and read, please.
Okay. Portfolio managers invest throughout the year to outperform benchmark portfolios and secure their Christmas bonus. To do so, they put their money in risky securities at the beginning of the year and move away from risky securities toward year-end. As a result, for risky securities, returns in January tend to be, on average, quite high.
Thank you. Securities.
Securities.
Yeah, securities. Perfect. Secure.
Secure.
Excellent. Hiram, I've got a big long paragraph for you. Could you read this one, please? Hiram? You're on mute.
Yes, hello.
Hello, could you please read the paragraph?
Yes, just 1 minute. In such cases, the second half of the year tends to be weak in relation to January, as managers bail out of those securities in order to lock up profits as they disinvest from risky securities. Managers tend to move to less risky or risk-free securities, pushing up those securities prices. As a result, low-risk companies, stocks and risk-free securities experience strength toward the second half of the year in relation to January, weakness in the early part of the year.
Okay. The. Not duh. So the TH sound, we're forming the TH sound here, so it's the. Okay, so no, that's not it. All right, I have a separate lesson on the TH sound. So what you have to do is you have to bring like this. Your tongue comes tree and blocks the air. The. No, hold on. Okay, I want you to do exactly what I'm doing. Okay, when you bring your tongue between your teeth, Air can't come out. You're blocking the air. And then that puff of air creates the TH sound. The.
Okay.
Okay? If you don't do that, you get duh. The tongue isn't there. So I know you're not putting the tongue right here. So go ahead and put your tongue right in between your teeth to block the air and then say the.
The.
Better, the.
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 No, you didn't do it there. Close. Like this. The.
Okay. The.
Better. Those.
Those.
Much better. So that's what you have to practice. Okay?
The. Can you help me? How can I pronounce it?
I can't right now because it's not a pronunciation class, but we have identified a sound that you need assistance with, which is the TH sound. Keep an eye on my pronunciation classes. I will have a class on that. But if I spend it, I don't know. You'll just have to look at the course syllabus.
Okay.
But you know, the purpose of this class is not pronunciation, it's comprehension. I'm just trying to help you guys a little bit more with your pronunciation. Okay.
Okay.
Managers.
Managers.
They.
They.
Oh, you didn't do it. Tongue between the teeth, remember?
They.
Better. Managers.
Managers.
January.
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 Half.
Half.
Very good. Okay. By the way, if you do want to just focus on one sound, if you book me for a private lesson, I can take you through and just spend the entire class with you on that one sound. All right, next we have Javier from Colombia. Could you read the next paragraph, please?
Okay, it's start with while. While this is what we should expect in theory. My research further shows that the games institutional managers play do not take place all at once in January. Instead, portfolio rebalancing is spread around the first and last few months of the year. In practice, then, seasonal strength is documented not just in January, but rather from November to April.
Okay, I'm going to focus on phrases instead of individual words, Javier, because I want to help you with the flow, the pronunciation as you flow between one word to another. So here we have, but rather from.
But rather from.
Much better. Seasonal strength.
Seasonal strength.
Seasonal.
Seasonal.
Strength.
Strange.
Okay, so you got to use the TH sound there. Remember what I was telling the other lady? Tongue between your teeth, block the air.
Okay.
Puff of air. Seasonal strength.
Strange.
No, you're not doing it. Your tongue has got to come right between your teeth.
Strength. Strength.
Whoa, there you go. Perfect. Well done. Excellent. You see, it's just that one little thing, and I know in some languages it's very hard, and it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you don't have that ability. It's just you haven't been taught what to do, and if you bring your tongue between your teeth for the TH sound, so you're blocking the air, you get that puff. You get that TH sound. It's just like the H in English. A lot of languages don't have an H. And the best way to simulate the H sound is when you laugh. Everybody goes, ha, ha, ha. And all the H is a puff of air. Ha, help, hospital. All right, Javier from Spain, we have a big paragraph for you to read.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
What is interesting, however, is that the strength in risky securities is this period is not a sure thing. It largely depends on what institutional investors think of the year ahead. Portfolio managers don't invest in risky securities indiscriminately. irrespective of whether the year is expected to be a recovery or a recessionary year. In other words, there is no November-April, a strong seasonal effect when a recession is expected, and
Thank you.
recessions normally coincide with bad and recoveries with good stock markets.
Irrespective.
Irrespective.
Indiscriminately.
Indiscriminately.
Yeah, you're copying some Americans. You got to be careful. Canadians too. We tend to get lazy with our trailing consonants. So just because others are very sloppy with it, don't you copy us.
Okay.
It's not that you need to say it this way, indiscriminately. No, but the T is never silent. Indiscriminately.
Indiscriminately.
Investors.
Investors.
Institutional.
Institutional.
Strength in risky.
Strength in risky.
Good. Interesting.
Interesting.
Well done, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Hyde has just joined us. Hyde, would you like to read? That's a really long paragraph. Let's chop that up a little bit. Too long. All right, Hyde, could you read that paragraph, please?
In early 2008, financial conditions were tightening up. Banks were becoming more stringent in giving loans to individuals and businesses. Capital spending and global growth were starting to show signs of weakness. The November-April period was turning out to be a bust for stocks, and it was signaling bad news for the economy. For example, the S&P 500 was down 5.3% year the first couple of months of 2008, and 10.3% since the end of October 2007.
Thank you. Tightening.
Tightening.
Tightening. Yeah, good. All right, always good, Hyde. And next, Alexander.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to make sure everybody has the same amount of time, but it's not always easy with these articles. All right, Alexander, could you read that, please?
The corresponding numbers for their S&P and TSX composite were a loss of 2.1% and down 7.4% respectively. This year, as well as we all know, turned out to be bad both for the economy and the stock market. What are the numbers telling us now? The November-April period is not turning out to be a bust for stocks, and it is not signaling bad news for the country.
Sorry about that. Thank you. All right, Adela, could you read this, please?
For example, the S&P 500 is up 1.43% year-to-date in 2015 and 3.33% since the end of October 2014. The corresponding gains for the S&P TSX Composite are 1.2% and 2.24% respectively. As things stand out so far, there is little evidence to support the argument that the economy is currently in a recession or is heading toward one.
Thank you. So, in English, while you can say 2.24, nobody says it. Nobody says 2 or 3.33. for numbers after the decimal, we'll always say 2.246 or 3.61. So after the decimal point, we don't say 2.200, for example. All right, since.
Since.
Composite.
Composite.
Thank you very much, Adela. Now the favorite part of the class. Let me just turn some lights on here because it's a little dark.
Excuse me, Simon. Can I ask one thing?
Just a minute, please.
Actually, I want to make sure we read like this 2.24 or we read 2.24.
2.24.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And how can we read S and R? Or how can we read like that? S and
I don't understand. No, it's S and P.
S and we read like and.
It's S and P, but people usually just say S and P.
S and P.
It's kind of slang. It's how most people say it.
Okay.
And by the way, when you're not speaking, if you could just put yourself on mute because we do get a lot of noise in the background. I've had to mute you a couple of times.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next section of class. For those of you who haven't taken class, I'm going to have to mute you again. Thank you. What we do in the next part of class is we have a conversation. We talk about the story. This is where comprehension comes in. Yes, I give you a chance to speak. I give you a chance to improve your pronunciation, but it's not a pronunciation class, right? It's about comprehension. So I want to go around the class and ask you guys, what was the story about? I do not want you reading from the article. Okay, so I'll pick on Adela first, but the rest of you have more time to think, what was it about? And I want you to say it in your own words instead of reading from the article, because I'll know if you're reading from the article. Adela, what was the story about?
It's about the economy, in general, the decreasing, the recession about the economy, maybe a deflation.
Okay, good. Now, was there a chance of inflation or deflation?
Deflation.
Okay, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, this is maybe or can be a recession because the economy don't grow more or less.
Okay, maybe. Let's see what Alexander has to say.
And this passage was about recession and how and the ways economic growth should increase, and also about some fears, and there was an interesting period like November, April, and I remember that, and also some dates where was a negative return, and actually I just don't remember the rest of it.
It's tough trying to read and also focus on what it's about, isn't it?
It's tough to try or pronounce the words well, and at the same time understanding what you're reading.
I know, but see, here's the key. When I'm having other students read, at that point you could be focusing on not how the words are said, but what the story's about. And try that, guys. This is not an easy class. It seems easy, but you don't realize how difficult it is until we get to the point in the class where we talk about the story that we just read. Hyde, what can you add to the discussion?
I'm not sure about that, but maybe it was talking about recession, 2008 or 2007.
Okay.
It's always linked to that. market, stock market, like that. I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Well, there was a reference to the recession of 2008, yeah, but I wouldn't say that this story is about a recession. Okay, so that's okay. We'll piece it together as we go. We take turns. Javier from Spain, what can you add to the discussion?
Yeah, I think that the writer tried to is comparing the situation in 2008, 2007 with the crisis and the recession, and finally the bankrupt of some companies and banks with this situation right now. I guess so.
Okay, so you're right. They are comparing the past to the
Yeah,
current.
I think that he's comparing
period.
the past with the current situation. Yeah, that he thinks that it's gonna happen the same like 2008 and 7. I guess so. I mean, the first part I have cleared the first part, but the second part of the article I have doubts about it. So.
Okay, good. Well, let's see what Javier from Colombia thinks. Javier, anything else you can add to the conversation?
Well, they are like comparing a past situation, and they are like predicting that we are heading to like a recession, like an economical crisis in different countries. They are like telling that we are going to a big crisis. This is what I understand.
Who is we? Where is this article written?
Excuse me?
You said we. Who is we in this story? Where's the article written? From what perspective? Aha. Good, though. Let me move on and see if somebody can pick up on that. The lady from California, Kumram, what else can you add about this story?
Honestly, Simon, I focus on the reading and just on the pronunciation. I didn't get the means. I didn't notice one.
Okay, you have to stay for detention then.
Detention?
Yep, you have to stay in the detention.
What means of detention?
It's a joke. Normally in school, if you're a bad student, you don't do your homework, you get to stay behind for detention.
Okay. When you don't do the homework, it means you have to below the...
You have to stay late at school. So, but don't worry. Thank you for trying. Vladimir, what else can you add about the story?
Me?
The author said that most of periods, November through April, were positive for stock market, unless the year has a recession, bad year for economy. Then even in this usually good period for stock markets, there is a recession.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's a good point. Yeah. Normally, this as we come up to April, stockbrokers, they don't work during the summer. They don't care if the stock market doesn't do well. All right.
Yep.
You guys all missed the main point of the story. So I'm going to talk a little bit here, and then I want you guys to shout out the answer. I don't want you to literally shout out, but using the chat, I want you to say, I have the answer, and I'll let you speak. But the biggest hint to what this story is about is the title of the story. If you look at the title, that really kind of says it all. Right there, you know exactly what the story is about. So, and of course, the title of the story is Fear a Recession? ? That's a poor sentence, really. The question is, do you fear a recession coming? The numbers say otherwise. Also, this article is written in Canada, and Canada is not in a bad economic situation. Like Russia, the dollar has dropped over 30% due to the drop in oil prices, but that has only affected one province. And yes, it has been bad. Real estate prices have dropped 50% or more in some areas, but the rest of the country is doing okay. Nobody's volunteering to speak. Guys, shut the teacher up. Who can tell me about what the story's about?
Maybe they use the index to demonstrate that the economy is in recession, because the index in Canada is S&P, and the other index, I think, is Canada index economic, are decreasing the last. The last are decreased, I think.
Okay. Well, Hyde, do you agree? Hold on a second, Adela. Hyde, do you agree with Adela? Okay, Hyde's not there. Alexander, do you agree with Adela?
More or less, and I'd like to add that this passage was about some predictions that some people, were trying to do. They were trying to predict the future growth and slowdowns for some countries, and especially it was about Europe, China, and Canada, and they were predicting that there will be an economic growth in Canada as well as in China, but not as it is expecting. I mean, there some experts said that the economic growth of China is going to be around 7%, but it turned out that it's about only 5%. And also, this passage was forcing us to compare some periods of economic growth and how some investors and people react on that correlation. Fluctuations.
Good observations. Well summarized. I think some of you have been reading the article over again in between discussions. A little bit of a cheat, but that's okay. You know what? We want to get as much as we can out of this class, and yeah, rereading it, there's nothing wrong with that, because I do want you to be able to give it in your own words. All right, Javier from Spain. Anything else you care to add about the discussion or the story?
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust this Standard & Poor's. I think it's SP, so I think this kind of companies that they are making this kind of predictions and this kind of valorations, or giving grades to the companies and everything. Sometimes they make mistakes. So I mean, if the article is based in things like Standard & Poor's or other companies that they are doing this kind of jobs, to be honest, I don't trust very much this information and this kind of things. So.
I don't blame you. Even rating agencies were responsible for the recession of 2007-2008 because they falsely. Oh,
yeah, sure.
Oops. Let's just give them an A++, right?
Yeah. So that was one of the big problems. I think that most of the mortgage that the banks were giving at that time were really well valued from
bank mortgages. Well, let me stop you there and give some others a chance, because I am going to end this class a little early today because I have a private session coming up, so I need about 5 minutes to get ready. But Javier, so Yeah, obviously mortgages in the U.S. were toxic and caused a problem. Are they really talking about major toxic mortgages at this time, or is there what else is going on here? What do you think is going on? Javier from Colombia.
Teacher, I'm sorry, teacher. I was trying to read the text again because I don't get it. I don't know, the vocabulary is a little. I don't get the whole text, teacher.
Well, that's okay. You know what? You could do that for homework, and most of the vocabulary today is business related. These are from business newspapers. So instead of worrying about what the story was about, maybe you can reflect on the economy in your own country or the economy, the planet's economy, how things are going.
Okay, well, in Colombia, we are having right now like good times, talking about economy. We have like a good employment rate. We have like the inflation. I don't know what is the word. Yes, is low right now. Things are good right here in Colombia. After a lot of year of trouble with traffic, with guerrilla, a lot of situation in the country right now, we are having a great economical situation right now in Colombia.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's been an interesting 8 years or so, that's for sure. All right, Hyde, what are your thoughts on the economy? Are you back with us?
Yes, maybe this period I went to Canada once. Then maybe there are the Canadian dollar and American dollar. I went to the bookstore, and for example, American dollar $10, Canadian dollar $12, like that. I needed to pay with the Canadian dollar, but exchanging rate was much different. Canadian dollar is more expensive than American. So maybe before, American dollar had been stronger than Canada, but that time Canadian dollar is more expensive. So I needed to much money for the books.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. So I guess I'll ask the question to Vladimir. Why do you think that things cost more in Canada than the United States? What would be a reason for that?
I'm not really into economics, so it's very hard to say for me. I don't know, maybe the taxes are higher in Canada. I don't know.
Okay. Anybody guess why things might be cheaper in the US than Canada? What are reasons why things are more expensive in one country than another?
Maybe they were produced in the USA, so when you buy it in Canada, you pay for transportation as well.
Could be. We both have very big countries. It might be because we have a universal health care system. We have more social programs, and that means more taxes, right? So those obviously play into it as well. Gurmram, what do you think? What else do you care to add about the story?
From this conversation, I got some points that are related. You were talking about this lesson. This lesson is regarding to the business, about the recessions, about the economy, and different countries. You talked about the Spain, USA, and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you were talking about the difference that's I think are related about the prices between US and Canada.
Well, that can certainly be impacted by social programs and the sheer size of the country.
Excuse me?
Sorry?
Excuse me, what you told me?
Well, no, obviously prices can have an impact, right?
I didn't understand. What are you saying?
Well, prices can have an impact.
Impacts? What means of impacts?
Well, prices can affect the price we pay for goods and services in the economy can be affected by many things. I've actually forgotten my initial point now. But we've got about 4 minutes left, so I want to open up the floor to any questions. Do you guys have any questions regarding this story? Anyone? I know Vladimir's thinking it's really late. I just want to go to bed.
I would like to know about the writer on the website. I mean, it's a left wing or right wing in Canada, or what kind of? I mean, what kind of newspaper is this one in Canada?
That's a good question. I would say that it's more of it's more conservative. It's more of a business newspaper. But you know, the thing is that generally, I would say that the economy in Canada is in pretty good shape, but we don't know what's going to happen next. The whole world is kind of, you know, treading water. You know, Russia's hit hard, Venezuela's hit hard, Canada's been hit hard. Anybody who produces oil right now is having a bit of a tough time. And if you haven't produced oil and a whole bunch of other stuff that comes out of the ground, now's not a great time.
I'm sorry?
In Canada, they used to call it the petrodollar because our dollar is greatly, you know, if oil goes up, our dollar goes up. If oil goes down, our dollar goes down. And I'm sure the ruble is the same.
I'm sorry, could you ask you a question? I'm just wondering about their expression, like crying wolf.
Oh, crying wolf, it's an idiom.
Yeah, and could you be so kind to explain it?
Well, there's a nursery rhyme called Red Riding Hood, and I'm sure you've all heard it in your own languages. About this girl, the young girl, maybe 7 or 9, she's dressed in a red coat, and she's in the forest, and she's, oh no, Crying Wolf. That's different than Red Riding Hood. So the story behind Crying Wolf is a little boy, not a little girl, keeps telling the villagers, there's a wolf, there's a wolf. So finally, you know, everybody comes running. It's like, where's the wolf? And he goes, just kidding, there's no wolf. So everyone's frustrated and said, don't you say that. So a few days pass, and then all of a sudden he runs in and he says, there's a wolf, there's a wolf, there's a wolf. They come running out again, and he says, and they say, where's the wolf? And the boy says, there's no wolf. A week goes by, and the boy yells, there's a wolf, and he's eating the chickens. Nobody comes out running. Oh, that boy again, he's just lying. Don't listen to him. He means nothing. You can't trust him.
Is it close to, you know, like...
hold on. And there's a wolf, and he's eating all the chickens. And they come out and say, what happened? He says, I told you there was a wolf here. They said, yeah, but we never trust you because you always say there's a wolf. So crying wolf means you're kind of lying, or it's a false alarm, right? It's not that you're... Lying is not the best way of saying it. It's more of just saying you're not trustworthy, you're not accurate. Okay? Now, unfortunately, guys, I do have to leave a few minutes early. Today's one of those days where I have back-to-back classes, and I need a couple of minutes to get one session closed and another session started up. All right? Thank you so much for coming. If you have any comments, please send me a message, and I can improve on classes. I think for some of you who had a lot of trouble with today's class, read up on some business vocabulary, and maybe I'll have a class in the near future, maybe tomorrow or the next day, on business terminology that we use in our daily lives. All right?
Thank you, teacher.
You're very welcome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.